General Hospital spoilers reveal that Andrea has unexpectedly returned to Port Charles, bringing with her a secret that could shake everything: TJ and Molly's child, the one the whole world believed to be no longer alive. Years ago, she was their surrogate, but then she disappeared without a trace, leaving pain and doubt in their hearts. She had told them she miscarried, but now, with a child of the right age to be TJ and Molly's biological child, the truth is slowly coming to light in a way no one could have imagined. However, instead of bursting with joy upon learning that their child is still alive, Molly has a reaction that shocks everyone. She declares that TJ is dead, and she no longer needs this child. Molly's words not only shock Andrea but also leave her loved one speechless. How could a mother so easily give up her own child? Is there something more hidden behind this cold decision? Molly, who has spent so long trying to cope with the pain of loss, now seems to have completely buried the past. In her eyes, accepting this child would be like reopening a dark chapter of her life, one she's tried to erase. This child is not only a part of TJ, but also a reminder of the suffering she endured. To move forward, Molly believes she cannot look back. Andrea, who has cared for the child all these years, is now thrown into a situation she never anticipated. She came back to Port Charles hoping to return the child to its biological parents, but now she faces a heartbreaking question: what should she do with this child? It cannot wander without a home, and more importantly, it deserves a loving family. In the midst of this confusion, Chase and Brook Lynn appear as a ray of light in the storm. The couple is also facing their own pain after learning that Chase cannot have children. They had dreamed of building a family, considering adoption or surrogacy, but they never imagined fate would give them an unexpected opportunity. A child who needs a home, at the exact time they're yearning to become parents. After much hesitation, Andrea begins to feel that perhaps fate has already decided everything. If Molly cannot accept the child, why not let it go to Chase and Brook Lynn, who have enough love and are willing to care for it as their own? But transferring the child is not just a legal decision. It opens up a series of complex questions about ethics, emotions, and future relationships. Chase and Brook Lynn may welcome the child with open arms, but can they truly protect it from the past? One day, will Molly regret her decision and try to reclaim the child? Can she truly erase it from her memory, or will the obsession with her biological child always haunt her? And the most important question: has TJ really died? Or is this just Molly's way of convincing herself to accept the reality? If TJ is still alive somewhere, this truth could change everything. If TJ returns one day and learns that his child was rejected by its biological mother, how will that turn everyone's lives upside down? Andrea has brought a shocking mystery, but her return will not only change the life of a child but will also affect Chase, Brook Lynn, and especially Molly. This story is not just about custody, it's a battle of emotions, about the choice between accepting the past or completely erasing it. Will Molly truly give up her child forever, or will she one day return to fight for it from Chase and Brook Lynn? Has TJ truly left, or will the ghost of the past come back to reclaim what belongs to him? And most importantly, will this child find a real home, or will it remain stuck in the decisions of the adults? This story has surely just begun, and its consequences will last forever. Molly is stepping into a new legal battle with Andrea, taking everything to an entirely new level. When Andrea returns to Port Charles with TJ and Molly's child, she hoped to return the child to its biological mother, believing Molly would want her child back. But Molly's cold and resolute reaction has sent everything in a different direction. Instead of accepting the child, she decides to fight to push Andrea out of her life forever. Molly no longer sees the child as part of her. To her, the past died with TJ, and she has no intention of digging up painful memories. However, Andrea is not so easily dismissed. She has cared for the child all these years, and although she's not the biological mother, she has devoted her life to raising it. Andrea has her own reasons and believes she has the right to decide what is best for the child, but this puts her in a battle with Molly, a fight she never wanted. Molly, who is always tough and determined, wants nothing to do with Andrea or the child. She uses every legal measure to prevent Andrea from making contact, even trying to discredit her. With support from her family and the legal system, Molly tries to ensure that Andrea has no chance of returning to her life. But this also means Andrea cannot stay in Port Charles any longer. She realizes that Molly will not stop until she's completely gone. In a moment of desperation, Andrea makes a bold decision. She turns to Chase. Andrea knows that Chase and Brook Lynn are desperate for a child, and she knows that Chase is an upstanding, responsible man who will do everything to protect a child. In an emotional moment, Andrea begs Chase to take care of the child because she can no longer stay in Port Charles. She understands that if she tries to fight Molly, she will not only lose custody of the child but could also put herself in danger. Andrea's decision is not just a desperate act, it's a final plea before she leaves. She cannot protect the child from a battle with Molly, but she believes Chase can. If anyone is strong enough and capable of creating a home for the child, it's Chase and Brook Lynn. Chase, though shocked by this offer, cannot ignore the desperation in Andrea's voice. He understands that if Andrea leaves without leaving someone to care for the child, its future will be uncertain. But if he takes on this responsibility, it means he will officially enter a new battle, a battle not only with Molly but also with the forces that are manipulating this story from the shadows. This custody story is no longer just a legal issue, it has become a showdown between people with a shared past. Molly wants to bury everything, Andrea wants a peaceful escape, and Chase is being pushed into the center of a major change he never prepared for. Will Chase take the child and protect it from this battle? Will Molly accept the truth that the child is still a part of her, or will she continue to fight to erase it from her life? And most importantly, can Andrea really leave Port Charles without leaving serious consequences? This story is far from over. It has only just begun, and when the final pieces fall into place, a new madness may erupt, changing the lives of everyone involved. Chase is truly longing to have a child, and that desire has become a powerful driving force behind the big decisions in his life. After discovering that he could not have children, Chase and Brook Lynn were faced with bitter disappointment, but that did not diminish their dream of building a family. Chase didn't just want to be a father, he wanted to nurture, protect, and love a child as his own. When Andrea came to him asking him to care for the baby before she left Port Charles, Chase knew that this was the opportunity he had been waiting for. A major change was underway, and he felt he could step up and play the role of a father. He did not hesitate to take on the responsibility, even knowing that his decision could lead to more trouble than he had anticipated. But while Chase thought he was just adopting Andrea's child, another shocking secret was quietly emerging, a secret that could turn everything upside down. If Joe's true identity were revealed and it turned out that the boy was actually Brook Lynn's biological son, not only would it create a new shockwave, but it would also plunge everyone into an uncontrollable disaster. Brook Lynn had never thought she had a child without knowing, but if Gio really is her son, it means someone has been keeping this secret from her all this time. The question is, who concealed the truth? And why? If Andrea knew this, it would mean that she intentionally gave Brook Lynn's biological son to Chase without revealing the boy's true identity. This truth would not only put Chase and Brook Lynn in an awkward situation but could also completely destroy their relationship. Chase adopted the child with the hope of providing a loving family, but if Brook Lynn discovers that the baby is hers, can she accept the fact that the man she loves unknowingly adopted her own child? Moreover, if Molly learns that the child she rejected is actually her biological grandchild, it could completely change her perspective. Would she regret giving up the baby? Would she fight to regain custody, even though it was something she never wanted? A true disaster is unfolding. Chase thinks he's in control, but the reality is far from what he imagined. The secret of Gio could shatter all relationships, sending those who once trusted each other into a spiral of betrayal and doubt. How will Brook Lynn react when she learns the truth? Can Chase stand his ground, or will he feel like he's unintentionally taken away the biological child of the woman he loves? And if Andrea has hidden this truth, does she still have other secrets yet to be revealed? One thing is certain, this story has spiraled out of control, and its consequences are unforeseeable. A true disaster is waiting, and once all the secrets are exposed, no one will be able to predict what will happen next. Brook Lynn is being pushed into a crazy situation like never before, where everything she believed in is slowly crumbling before her eyes. Secrets are being revealed, truths are being distorted, and repressed emotions are pushing her into a crisis she never thought she would face. Things were already complicated when Chase decided to adopt Andrea's child, but when the true identity of the baby is uncovered, it doesn't just create a shock, it turns everything into a real disaster. Brook Lynn can't believe what she hears when she discovers that the child Chase adopted is actually her biological son. What does this mean? It means that she had a child she never knew about, and someone kept this secret from her all this time. But more importantly, it means that the man she loves, Chase, has unknowingly stolen her right to be a mother without even realizing it. Brook Lynn's pain doesn't just come from missing out on the first years of her child's life. It comes from the fact that she feels completely out of control of her own life. How could this happen? Who hid this truth from her? And why was Chase the first to know before she even had a chance to realize the child was hers? This psychological oppression is making Brook Lynn anxious, irritable, and lost. She can no longer look at Chase the way she once did. She no longer sees him as the perfect husband she once loved. Instead, she sees a man who is holding the most precious thing of hers, something that should have belonged to her all along. Chase, though innocent in this situation, still feels as if he's being blamed. He can't fully understand the jumbled emotions Brook Lynn is experiencing, and every time he tries to comfort her, he only makes her feel more distant. Chase loves Brook Lynn, and all he wants is to have a family with her. But now, that love is being tested in ways he never imagined. Every conversation between them has turned into an argument. Every decision Chase makes regarding the child is criticized by Brook Lynn, because she feels he has no right to make those decisions. And while Chase is trying to do what's right, Brook Lynn feels that the only right thing to do is to take back the child at any cost. Things are becoming more tense as they begin to lose trust in each other. Brook Lynn feels like Chase is trying to impose the role of father on a child she never had the chance to mother. She can't accept that he has built a relationship with her child while she had no idea. But for Chase, this is not easy either. He was ready to be a father, mentally prepared to raise the child as his own. But now, Brook Lynn wants to take back her role as a mother, and that puts Chase in an unbearable position. Should he step back to allow her the chance to connect with her child? Or does he have the right to continue being a father in the way he initially committed to? The tension between them is mounting, and every day that passes, the gap between Brook Lynn and Chase is growing wider. They no longer feel like a couple on the same page. They've become two people fighting for something they both believe they have the right to control. These disagreements are not only hurting them but are also pushing their relationship to the brink of collapse. Neither of them wants to lose the other, but neither can find a way to reconcile their differences. Things are getting even worse as both families begin to intervene, each with their own opinions on who should have custody of the child and how the situation should be resolved. Brook Lynn doesn't want to lose Chase, but she can't continue the marriage if she feels disrespected in her role as a mother. Chase doesn't want a divorce, but he can't live in a marriage where every day is an endless fight. And so, they stand at a painful decision. Can they overcome these challenges to stay together, or must they accept that their love isn't strong enough to overcome this brutal truth? Divorce is becoming a more realistic option than ever. Once love is replaced with resentment, once trust is lost, can they ever find each other again? Brook Lynn and Chase were once one of the happiest couples in Port Charles, but now they are caught in an emotional storm that no one can control. And if they don't find a way to salvage their relationship, the inevitable outcome will be an irreparable breakup. The question now is, who will back down? Who will compromise? And will love be strong enough to keep them together, or is a real disaster waiting for them ahead? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure, this story isn't over, and its repercussions will last forever. Tracy and Sonny will certainly not sit idly by as things get more complicated. Both are powerful individuals who never accept being put in a passive position. And now, as secrets and plots are gradually exposed, they are planning actions that could shake all of Port Charles. What they're about to do is not just a spontaneous reaction but a well-calculated strategy. Tracy, with her sharp mind and willingness to play dirty, is formulating a plan that could surprise everyone. Meanwhile, Sonny, with his full control over his power, won't let anyone threaten him without facing proper retribution. What's remarkable is that both of them have their own kind of madness. Tracy never acts without purpose, but once she strikes, she can leave her enemies unable to react. On the other hand, Sonny, with his protective instincts toward his family and power, is willing to make unexpected moves. When they team up for a battle, the result will not be a minor event but a series of chaotic incidents. Their actions will completely change the landscape of Port Charles. This is not just a typical confrontation, it's a battle that could affect the future of many people. When Tracy and Sonny decide to act, they will not stop at mild measures. They will go to any length to achieve their goals, no matter the consequences. And this is happening faster than anyone can imagine. Their moves are making everyone feel uneasy, and with every passing minute, the storm they're about to create is growing bigger than ever. If these plans are carried out the way they want, Port Charles may witness an unprecedented change, a change that could shake the whole city. The biggest question now is not whether Tracy and Sonny will act, but who will be their next victim. And as their madness becomes more evident, will anyone be able to stop them before things spiral completely out of control? A storm is coming, and Port Charles is about to face consequences that are impossible to foresee.